On the wine again. This video is about basically what people are like today and what I've observed, and it relates to I'm going to relate it to avoidant personality, which is not characterized as not feeling good enough, avoiding social situations or pairing up with people, and hating criticism and stuff like that, which leads them to, be by themselves on purpose, like avoid like all social interactions. On the bus the other day, it had stalled basically 7 or 8 times before he had rung to find out how to get it fixed, and I was looking up immediately after the second time, thinking, "What the hell?" It's shared pain, it's shared turmoil, it's shared suffering. So the first thing I do is look to make a joke out of it and, have a bit of a laugh. Yeah, make light of it or complain or whatever amongst myself. But people on the bus were the typical men of today, you know. This self-indulgent, self-focused, reach for the stars mentality. Just focus on yourself, man. You gotta believe in yourself. You just gotta get up every day and do what you have to do, and someday you'll make it. Yeah. So you can just tell by how they dress and what they're wearing and their facial expressions that that's what they think. That's their programming they've downloaded from the modern world, like. You know what I mean? And so I have had enough of these people. I've seen them. I know the responses. They just avoid contact. Like the idea of just chatting to a stranger to these people is too much for them. So they pretend to be too good just to talk to anybody as a stranger. So they're too self-focused. So no one batted an eyelid, no one showed any grimacing, no one showed any signs of annoyance, no one showed anything at all. It was just vacant stares ahead of themselves, focused, headphones in, and everything like that. Completely antisocial. Even the chap on the left in his 50s was like that. So I started looking around like, what the hell's going on here? Everyone was like that. Until eventually there was two more normalish people in front of me at the bus. I was facing to the back and I turned round, and after about the 7th or 8th time, a girl and this lad, they were younger chaps, they were Irish. I don't think the other ones were Irish, by the way. Maybe they were, but a lot of Irish people like this nowadays. And they just started shaking their head and we started laughing and making jokes, and I said, yeah, the money that was assigned for that engine was spent on painting the buses rainbow colours. That's why we're sitting in a bus that doesn't work. And we all had a laugh about it, like, and started talking about stuff. Like, that's the point. Like, when random stuff happens in public, you're supposed to just, if you're not looking around you to have a conversation, like, just all the time, like, there must be something wrong with you. What are you scared of? And it's the same in the gym. Like, you go into the gym, it's just full of these absolute clowns, like, indictments of personality, indictments of the modern world, like these self-obsessed things, monstrosities, transmogrifications of bestial forms of masculinity, sitting in the gym pretending to half work out with all these weird grimaces on their face, focused on themselves, not worried about anyone else around them, honing in their terrible weights they can't even lift, and no one exists but them, And they dress the way they dress. They're all dressed like, Converse, and these socks pulled up to their ankles, Bugman beards, tattoos. They spend half the morning like shaving their legs. They've got tattoos on their legs and they shave their legs. Like, that is a oxymoron if I've ever seen one. What is that like? It's just an anti-andromia, like the Freudian concept. No, the Jungian concept, an anti-andromia, like the false appearance of masculinity is being counteracted, and he would say it's subconscious, but the subconscious, like, gayness and femininity is shining through by shaving his legs. It's like a conflict in the emotion there. That's what's happening. No wonder everybody jokes about these far right being gay, like. But these people in the gym, they aren't far right. They're completely feminized, and it's a farce of masculinity. But the point is, all of these people, the people I've talked about in the bus that just stare ahead, and these people in the gym, put their headphones on and pull weird faces when they can't lift any weights. Half of them are on steroids and they're weak as hell. Like, it's so obvious on steroids. They're covered in acne and they're bulging out the shoulders a little bit. They be skinny legs, like. And, they can't lift. And how can you get that much muscle when you can't lift any weights? Like, they've gone to all this effort and they're in their 20s just to have a bit of muscle. And, they're not even strong, like, But the point is, all of this self-focused, Americanized mentality of achievement, aspiration, culture is not masculine. It's so inferior. It's disgusting. It's basically, avoiding personality culture written into an ideology of masculinity. It's in disguise as masculinity. Like, there's nothing masculine about focusing on yourself. What's masculine about it? Like, zoning out, focusing on yourself. Like, ipsit evaluations, a psychological term for comparing yourself to the day before instead of other people around you. Like, they're so scared to look at other people in case their feelings are hurt. So they compare themselves to themselves. So even in the morning, they look at themselves in the mirror, they see the visual aspect of themselves. In their mind, they only see themselves. And in their history, they only see themselves. It's constant selfishness, whatever the word is here. I don't know. Autolatry, like, solipsism. Like, no one exists but them. So they're scared to have a conversation with other people, because they're too busy focusing on themselves, which is like a form of passive aggression. It's like, only me is important. Get away from me. And then they protect themselves in their bubble of their solipsistic bubble and don't look at anyone else because they know other people around them make them look stupid and make them look weak. And they're scared to talk to other people because they know their ideas will crumble in a second, because that's why they're avoidant. That's why they focus on themselves. Because as soon as they open up and I don't like that term, open up, but as soon as they, become available, or, available people now are weak or something, but as soon as they, have a conversation, a chat to strangers, their bubble bursts in 2 seconds. Their self-image, which is completely built on fiction, crumbles in a second. And that's why they're all touchy all the time. That's why you can't criticize them. That's why you can't have jokes with them. That's why they're not ready to have jokes when things go wrong in the culture around them. So it's just like avoiding personality disorder. Focusing on yourself, comparing yourself to yourself all the time, going to the gym every day, pretending that you're being masculine by getting tattoos and shaving your legs and lifting terrible weights while being on steroids is not masculine. It's inferior, desperate, Americanized, avoidant personality disorder. And you need to snap out of it and start talking to people because you're inferior. It's an inferiority complex disguised as self-interest, basically. That's all it is. Like, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? Why don't you strike up a conversation? Like, everyone's talking about male loneliness epidemic and how everyone's isolated, That's because you're reading this online crap. Listen to people like Andrew Tate telling you to focus and go to the gym, and everybody has friends at the gym because everybody's focusing on themselves and wearing baseball caps, pretending to be American, working on their American, thinking they're getting stronger and better every day. When the idea of self-improvement is absolute nonsense. You can't improve yourself. Self-improvement doesn't exist. Well, it sort of exists. I have to backtrack on that one. Your genome doesn't change when you exercise. Your genes stay the same. Your genes pass on to the next generation if you're lucky. Whether you exercise or not, if you have a girlfriend, you exercising is not going to make much difference. The only way you'll have an effect by working on yourself is epigenetically, and that's a small effect, and it can be reversed. And even if you don't do that, it would counteract by the children working, like, doing exercise anyway. So you can't improve yourself. You are your genes. Like, your genes encode who you are. You can only dress the product of DNA up by looking after it like a car. That's it. It doesn't actually get better. It's just presented as best as it can be. Yeah, and you can't improve it. That's what you have. You're dealt a hand. You have to play it how you play it. You're not improving yourself. You're disguising your DNA by using steroids. You're cheating. Yeah, you're trying to use social status rather than only your DNA to get a leg up. But yourself doesn't improve. Only your social position improves. It's impossible to improve yourself. You can only improve your social status, and you can only improve how people perceive you. But the raw, real you can never be changed. That's always the same. You can behave differently, but essentially, that's spirit. That's not really, what you're passing on to the future generations. You can improve your behavior, but growing muscles is not in behavior like. Growing muscles is just raw meat added onto you by exercise and eating stuff and hoping testosterone does the work. And it's actually ugly to look like. I go to the gym and I lift heavy weights, but I don't like the look of the bodybuilder. It's ugly. I don't like looking like a meathead. It makes you look stupid, even when I'm not. I don't like the culture of the gym. I hate the gym. The gym is disgusting because of these people. The fact that I go to the gym and I'm surrounded by these self-focused, narcissistic morons who have inferiority complexes disguised as, Americanization, annoys me. It brings me down. I'm not one of you. I'll never be one of you. I can't stand the culture that I'm in. I just like lifting weights. You know what I mean? I have nothing to do with these people in the gym. We're nothing alike. The average IQ of people in the gym is probably in the 90s, It's really low. I'm talking about for white people. White people in the gym, most of them are stupid. Testosterone correlates negatively with IQ. Some people are lucky to have high IQ and high testosterone. Yeah. But the general consensus is the middle class. That's why the middle class are so weak and insipid and flimsy and desperate and Auschwitz for desperation for social status through the government, because they have no ability to defend themselves by themselves physically, because their IQ correlates with lower testosterone. That's why the middle class are weak, annoying people and pushovers. They're not lucky enough to have the high IQ and high testosterone. But anyway, I've rambled on a bit here. The point of this is modern people need to stop reading this Americanized self-interest, work on yourself, rot, aspirational culture. You can't really improve yourself. You can modify yourself a bit, present yourself a bit better, behave a bit better. But your DNA doesn't change no matter what. So the idea of self-improvement is an illusion. You get older, you die, you degenerate, your body decays. When you're in your 50s, you lose strength even though you go to the gym. You can't improve your strength any longer. You know what I mean? And even then, it has downsides. Improving your strength means you have lower aerobic conditioning. So, it's like a payoff. Oh, God. But the point is, get out of the shell. Stop having avoidant personality disorder. Learn to take a joke. Grow up. Stop wearing baseball caps. Stop wearing baseball caps back to front. It's even worse. Stop dressing American. Stop following American sports like basketball. You're not I'm in Ireland. You're not American. Grow the hell up. Don't be afraid.